Good evening. Jamaicans in 8 parishes are under another round of state of emergency SOEs that took effect today. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement during a Jamaica House media briefing this morning, during which he advised that Governor General Sir Patrick Allen had declared 2 SOEs, one covering the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon and St. Anne, and the other in the tri-parish area of St. James, Westmoreland and Hanover.
Morning at midnight, His Excellency, the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, declared 2 states of public emergency. One in the entire parishes of St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew. And the second, this is now in the entire parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. The government, after careful consideration and on the advice of the security chiefs, decided to notify the Governor General that it was necessary and indeed appropriate to declare states of public emergency in the areas so described above. While we have had reasonable success in controlling the number of murders leading up to and during the Christmas season, the threat levels for ongoing gang conflicts, contract killings, organized robberies of businesses, hijacking of goods in transit, and various confidence scams that lead ultimately to the loss of life, spreading of fear, and depriving entire communities of their freedom to pursue their business and happiness. That threat level remains elevated and extensive in scale.
Mr. Holness says the government, in analyzing the murder data of last year in comparison to this year, acted decisively to save the lives by implementing crime-fighting strategies such as the SOE.
I invite you to consider that last year, December, there were 127 murders committed in Jamaica. Yes, in December. If we were to annualize this, that would mean a murder rate of 56 per 100,000. That is unacceptable in any country, by any standard, by any means. So after studying the situation carefully and being seized of the data and intelligence which showed a similar trend this year, the government acted reasonably and decisively to save lives and to preserve the freedoms of ordinary citizens. The government will continue to be relentless in our efforts to control murder specifically and crimes generally. We will continue to use all measures available to us. We will use the SOEs when necessary.
The Prime Minister further added that the government has all intention to increase the penalty of murderers who take the lives of innocent civilians.
Already declared our intention to increase the penalty for murder. More and more, my inclination is to go higher with the penalty. And already in Parliament, there is a new Bail Act. Other measures to come, including changes to the Fingerprint Act and other legislative measures. We are serious about showing the criminals that we are in charge of this country and they are not at will to take lives. The duty of any government is to save lives. And I am confident in the view that our measures in this season have resulted in many Jamaicans being safer and many more lives saved.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson outlined the crime statistics for 2022.
Since the beginning of this year, the country has recorded a daily average of 4 murders. This peaked in September, where the daily average reached nearly 5 murders. September and October recorded increases as high as 8%, when compared to 2021. Over the past 2 months, we have managed to reduce the daily murder average to 2.5 and have reduced the gap between last year and this year from 8% above in early October to 1.5% currently. This has been achieved through a suite of legislative, operational, and intelligence responses. The key legislative tools were the provision of emergency powers to the security forces for 2 14-day periods during November and December, and the new Firearms Act coming into effect at the beginning of November. The use of states of public emergency has once again proven to be the quickest and most effective way of rapidly reducing violent crime. During the first period of the SOEs declared in November, murders were reduced by as high as 64% and increased by as much as 171% during the 7-day period when the emergency powers were removed. When the powers were reinstituted, the first 7-day period once again recorded declines as high as 55% in the divisions where the SOEs were declared and continued to trend downwards. With the Firearms Act, from November the 1st to December the 20th, we charged 70 persons under the new act, 63 men and 7 women.
The police have launched a manhunt for a prisoner who escaped from the Kingston Public Hospital, the KPH, on Tuesday night. The prisoner was allowed to take a shower sometime before 8 p.m., but a guard realized that the shower was running for an extended period and went to check. It was discovered that the prisoner had escaped through the roof of the building. CCTV footage showed that he exited the roof at another point. He then made his way through the building and out to the car park, where he scaled a wall and escaped. The body of a fisherman was found along Port Henderson Beach in Portmore, St. Catherine yesterday. The deceased has been identified as Rohan Rose, better known as Chicken, of a St. Catherine address. It has been reported that a teenager discovered Mr. Rose's body, which was found on the beach, and alerted residents. The teen said he was walking on the beach when he stumbled upon the body. Mr. Rose was reportedly last seen alive sometime around 8:30 a.m. yesterday morning. People at the fishing village say Rose was one of the men who helped to load boats for scuba divers. And Mello TV News will continue to bring you more on this developing story in subsequent newscasts. Firefighters today battled a blaze at Lynn Max Bakery on Slipe Road, which is located next to a petrol station in the corporate area. According to Public Relations Officer of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Emilio Ibanks, the fire reportedly started on the upper floor of the building and the team responded with 3 units.
We received a call at 9:27 a.m. that there was a fire at the Lynn Max Bakery on Slipe Road. We responded with 3 units. The fire was confined to the upper floor of the commercial building. We extinguished the fire, and we now have the investigators on scene trying to ascertain the cause. The loss is $20 million, and the risk is $30 million.
And Mello TV will have more on this story in subsequent newscasts. In other news this evening, the Area 1 Accident Reconstruction Unit has confirmed that a total of 3 persons, including a female, were killed and several others injured following their involvement in separate road collisions across western Jamaica during the Christmas weekend. Those killed have been identified as 41-year-old Cydia Jarrett of Friendship District in Trelawney, 61-year-old Linton Watkin, a laborer of Hartford District in Westmoreland, and 52-year-old Barrington Francis, otherwise called Barry, a farmer of Litchfield District, also in Trelawney. The most recent collision occurred about 11:40 p.m. on Sunday while Jarrett and other passengers were traveling in a white Toyota Coaster bus along the Greenwood Main Road. On reaching a section of the roadway, the driver collided with a black Noah bus, which was traveling in the opposite direction, resulting in Jarrett and 10 other passengers traveling in both vehicles sustaining serious injuries. They were rushed to the Falmouth Hospital, where Jarrett was pronounced dead, and some of the injured passengers treated and admitted in serious condition, while some were treated and released. The two other deceased, Francis and Watkins, also lost their lives in separate road accidents which occurred on Christmas Eve across the parishes of Westmoreland and Trelawney. Francis lost his life about 7:40 p.m. on Saturday after being hit by a motor vehicle while walking along a section of Lime Tree Road in Waitabit, Trelawney. The police reported that he sustained head and body injuries and was rushed to the Falmouth Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Watkins was killed some minutes later, about 8:30 p.m. while traveling on his motorcycle along the Torrington Main Road in Savannah-Lamar. Reports by the Savannah-Lamar police are that Watkins and a pillion, Demar Smith, were traveling on his green Cobra motorcycle along the Torrington Main Road when Watkins crashed into a metal pole while negotiating a corner. Both men were thrown from the motorcycle and sustained head and body injuries, following which they were rushed to hospital where Watkins was pronounced dead and Smith treated and admitted in serious but stable condition. Since the start of the year up to Christmas Day, 128 fatal accidents were reported across western Jamaica, with a total of 157 persons being killed. Residents living in sections of Anchovy in St. James are now appealing to the National Water Commission, the NWC, to address the grave situation of no running water, which they say have been affecting them since month of November. Dozens of disgruntled residents, mostly of whom are elderly citizens, related that they are finding it very difficult to get by daily due to little or no running water. One senior farmer, who gave his name as Radford Carr, said he's unable to walk around properly due to an illness which has affected both legs, and that he is unable to function properly on a daily basis due to lack of running water inside his home.
There is no water in the house for about 2 months now. That is my main problem. I cannot get nobody to come in to assist me like a helper, because the bathroom cannot be flushed. There's no water at all in the house. So I can't ask somebody to come in to work under this condition. They weren't able to get bathroom facility.
And yes, and you say you're unable to walk.
I just crumble from room to room.
And how long you have been affected by this problem?
Oh, over 6 years now. But it's only about a year now that it gets so bad there. That I just crumbling. Only about a year now. It's only about a year now since I give up driving.
And what's the problem you're having with your legs?
Huh?
What's the problem you're having with your legs?
My knees.
Yes.
I pain when I try to stand.
The 88-year-old farmer, who resides at Rock Pleasant Road in Anchovy, said that he has written 2 letters to the National Water Commission, and to date he has received no response, and neither have they visited the community to address the grave water situation.
I sent them, the National Water Commission, about 2 letters since over the last 2 months. As I say, it's about 2 months now, no water at all in the house. I wrote to them about 2 letters over the last 2 months.
And you haven't gotten any response from them?
None at all.
None at all. And what's the name of your community? What's the name of the area? What's the name of your community?
It's Anchovy, Rock Pleasant Road.
Oh, Rock Pleasant Road in Anchovy. And you say you have been without water for the past 2 months?
2 months.
Right. Your Road to Water Commission, still no response?
About twice.
And that's our news package for this evening. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV News. I'm Nicole Hales. Stay safe and pleasant viewing.